So I've got Ms. Basham, Ms. Odom, and Ms. Brooke. Is that correct? Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Deputy McLeish.
Good afternoon, Judge Martin. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing excellent.
Good. Sorry for the delay. We had a day in the life over here, but we're here now, and I've got all three females in the room right now.
Great. I really do appreciate your help. All right. Let's go with Mr. Manning's client, Ms. Courtney Odom.
Yes, Judge. I don't see her. She's
getting here.
Oh, there she is.
All right.
Miss
All right, let me call this case real quick. CR 2186 and CR 2187, State versus Courtney Michelle Odom. Set for docket call. Go ahead, Mr. Manning.
Yes, Judge. Ms. Curry informed me there's some additional discovery that she's been provided during or through the original investigation, including a forensic interview of the child. I've been unable to review that video at this point in time, and so I request a reset. Furthermore, I'm still gathering mitigating evidence on behalf of Ms. Odom at the request, or in agreement with Ms. Curry.
Is that the position of the state? All right, Mr. Manning, let's see. How long do you think you may need?
Judge, if we can just set it out to the next docket call, I believe it's 4:13 is the next time I'm set.
Okay. Court will set Ms. Odom then for an additional docket call on April 13th at 1:30. All right, Ms. Odom, we'll see you again on that date, okay? Ms. Odom, do you have any questions or any issues that need to be brought to the court's attention?
No question.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, you said just females, correct, right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll call Mr. Zimmerman in just a moment, Mr. Manning. You don't have any more female clients. How about Miss Basham for Miss Thompson? Angelina Basham?
Yes, sir. She's approaching right now.
All right, this is cause CR 15447, State versus Angelina Annette Basham. And we're set today on Miss Basham's motion to revoke. And Miss Thompson, you were just recently appointed as counsel. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Just appointed yesterday evening. I met with Miss Basham at 12 noon. We had a tentative offer. She and I went over that. We both agreed that it's kind of unreasonable right now to just agree to anything. We would rather have it reset for her to have more time to think about her situation and the offer.
Okay. And what is the offer, just for the court's knowledge?
For today, it was 4 years TDC.
All right, then this is what the court's going to do. Today's the 11th. 1, 2. What if I set it for the contested docket on the 30th, Miss Thompson? That'd give you 1, 2, a little over 2 weeks to prepare for the hearing and for Miss Basham to make any counter offers that she wants, for the state to make any final offers. You believe that'd be enough time?
I have a bench trial, Your Honor. Yeah, I think it would be. So let's go ahead and do it.
Okay.
And Judge, the state would slightly disagree. I've been notified by probation that they expect a drug lab back on Miss Basham's case, and they expect to amend that MTR. So I don't know if we could get that turned over with proper notice to Miss Thompson ahead of the 30th.
What do you propose, Ms. Heisel?
Judge, I would propose that we set it for the 13th or the 15th of April. We will have a concrete motion at that point and a concrete offer at that point. And then I think we could do a pretty quick turnaround to the April evidentiary docket should we be unable to work it out.
Ms. Thompson, any objection?
Your Honor, the 15th would be good for me, but I have a doctor's appointment on the 13th. I didn't realize that this morning at court.
Okay. Did we previously set you on the 13th?
Yes, sir, and I'm going to have to reset that one from this morning.
All right, so Ms. Basham, I'm going to set your case for another hearing on the motion to revoke on April 15th at 1:30. We'll have you brought up again at that time. Ms. Thompson, do you know what time your appointment is on the 13th?
Yes, sir. Hang on one second, Your Honor, I can tell you. It starts at 11:45, Your Honor.
And is it in Dallas or Tyler or?
No, it's in Kaufman, actually, Your Honor. But it's a long wait. It's a doctor's office.
Right. Do you think if on the 13th, if you don't get that moved, if we just called your case first, that would give you enough time? I think in that case is Mr. Sanchez, right? Joe Sanchez?
Yes, sir. That's the other one I was going to get moved.
Okay, so you had two of them.
Yes, sir. I'll have Ms. Basham and I'll have Mr. Sanchez.
Okay, I'll let you deal with Sanchez on getting that moved. So Ms. Basham, you're set on the 15th. All right, and then that will bring up Miss Melinda Brooke. And this is a writ seeking bail reduction, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right, this is writ number WR 21-14. And are you going to call your client to testify today, Ms. Thompson?
I will, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Brooke, if you will, raise your right hand. I'm going to place you under oath. Ma'am, do you swear that the testimony you give to the court today will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, you may put your hand down. Make sure you speak up loudly and clearly today so that I can hear what you're saying, and also so my court reporter can hear what you're saying. Try not to talk over the attorney as she's asking questions. She's going to extend that same courtesy to you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Ms. Thompson.
Go ahead and state your full name for the record, Ms. Brooke.
Melinda K. Brooke.
Okay, Ms. Brooke, you understand we're just here today for bond hearing. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When were you arrested?
February 1st.
Okay. All right, Ms. Brooke, do you hold any kind of a job?
Yes,
What do you do?
I'm a manager of two car washes.
Okay, and how long have you had that employment?
Almost going on 2 years, ma'am.
Okay. And do you work full-time or part-time?
It was just part-time, and I have been drawing unemployment since August.
Since August.
Yes,
And why are you drawing unemployment? Is that because of COVID?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you could get a bond reduction here today, would you be able to go back to that employment?
Yes,
How much do you make an hour, ma'am, when you're working?
$12 an hour.
Okay. And normally how many hours do you put in a week?
40 to 50.
Okay. If you were released on bond today or lowered bond, where would you be living at, Miss Brooke?
At my residence in Grange Lane,
What is that address there?
828 West Garland, Grange Lane, Texas.
And how long have you lived at that address?
A year.
A year. Do you have a phone number there or a cell phone number?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that?
Well, Ms. Thompson, hang on, Ms. Brooke. I would ask that you not publish that to the court at this time, simply because
Okay.
we are streaming this online.
Yes, sir. Correct. Okay. Ms. Brooke, do you own any kind of vehicle?
Yes, I own a 2009 Mustang.
Do
Do you own it?
I'm
or
sorry,
do
Ms.
you-
Thompson. I'm sorry, Ms. Thompson. Can you repeat that? There was a loud noise and I didn't hear what you said on the vehicle.
It's a 2009 Ford Mustang, and yes, I own it.
Okay. Have you tried to put it up for a loan or sell it to make bond?
No, ma'am, I haven't, I actually tried to take a loan out on it to, hire a lawyer before I got you.
Okay. And currently your bonds on 2 charges is set at 50,000 each. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to make any kind of bond on that?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Brooke, what would be something that you think you might could meet on these felony charges, bond wise?
Maybe 10,000 apiece.
Okay. Is there any friends or relatives that are around that could help you with this?
I have a dad and I have a mom, and she was just put in the hospital due to a stroke. She's being transferred to a rehab in Sulphur Springs, I believe, today. And
So they're not in a position to help.
No,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry. You're not in a,
Not at this time.
okay. All right. Do you have any property that you could sell or put up mortgage or anything?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Okay. Your Honor, I'd pass the witness.
Any questions from the state?
Ms. Brooke, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you understand that the fraudulent use or possession of identifying information is a second-degree felony?
Yes, ma'am.
And is it your understanding that you've also been charged with a state jail forgery of a financial instrument?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Your Honor, I'd pass the witness.
Any further questions, Ms. Thompson?
Just to clarify for the court, if the judge agrees to reduce your bond here today and you make bond, Ms. Brooke, are you telling this court you will appear for all settings and all hearings?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay.
I know
Go
we're
ahead,
here for a bond hearing, but on the fraud charges,
ma'am, I'd rather you didn't go into that into the case at this
Thank
point.
you.
Okay. This is just a bond hearing. That's all.
ma'am.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Anything additional from the state as far as questioning?
No, Your Honor.
Any further evidence or witnesses, Ms. Thompson?
No, sir, none.
Anything from the state?
No, Your Honor, we were just reserved for argument.
Ms. Thompson, you want argument?
Well, Judge, she does have a job. She says that she's still employed and could go back to that job. We would ask that the court reduce these bonds are kind of extreme. I would ask that the court consider reducing them down to 10,000 each and allow her to try to make bond on those. And so that she can also assist with her parents who seem to be in some sort of dire situation right now.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. Ms. Heisel, would you like rebuttal or not rebuttal, but would you like argument?
Actually, Judge, I think Ms. Thompson's request for a reduction to 10,000 is reasonable given the circumstances. We were under the impression that a PR bond was being sought from this hearing. So I think 10,000 apiece on these, Judge, is fair. That's something the state would be willing to agree to. We do have these cases in our office already, so I do believe that they'll be indicted quickly. But given the circumstances, we don't contest Ms. Thompson's request.
Okay. That being the case before the court will then set bail at $10,000 for the fraudulent use or possession of identifying information, second-degree felony, and the court will also set bail at $10,000 cash or surety in each case, and specifically with the forgery state jail felony. So the court's going to grant the defendant's request, and the court this day is signing the order reflecting the ruling of the court.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I just have one request. If the court would have my client call me within the week.
Well, you can ask her. I can't make her.
Now, I understand, Your Honor.
You want to
You
go ahead
understand that,
and
Ms. Brown?
Yes, ma'am, but I don't have any phone time, Ms. Thompson.
Okay.
But I will do
Or
my
will
best.
you combine that?
If I get out, I will call you. And if not, I will
Yes,
have somebody call you and let you know.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Brooke. The
Thank you.
court will send over that order to the jail at the conclusion of our hearing today.
Okay. Your Honor, that's all I have, ma'am. Excuse, sir.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Thompson. Good to see you.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, we do have both gentlemen in the room now, Mr. Zimmerman and Mr. Gomez.
All right, let's have Mr. Zimmerman go ahead and step up.
Evening.
All right, court calls CR 2374 and 375, State versus Michael Cody Zimmerman. We're set for pretrial today. Go ahead, Mr. Manning.
Judge, I'm gonna have to ask for a reset on Mr. Zimmerman's pretrial. I've not reviewed the audio-visual materials in this case. I've seen the photos, but I've not seen body cam, 911 calls, or other video. I believe those exist. However, I don't show that I've been given those at this point in time. That may be incorrect, but I don't show them in my case files. Additionally, I need to review those. I believe there's some key elements that may be in dispute due to some recent conversations I had on Friday with some eyewitnesses, and I would like to have opportunity to further direct them to the sheriff's office so they can be able to make additional reports to the sheriff's office.
Yes, sir. State, is there any follow-up on whether or not Mr. Manning has been provided the discovery with regards to the audio-visual evidence?
Judge, I don't show that it has been picked up. I believe it is probably ready. If it is not, I will make sure that it gets ready for Mr. Manning as soon as possible.
All right, court reset pretrial then for Mr. Zimmerman to April 13th to allow Mr. Manning to get that discovery. So Mr. Zimmerman, your hearing will be on April 13th at 1:30. If you make bail in this case, your hearing will be held at 9 o'clock in the courthouse.
Got a question.
Well, hang on, before you ask that question, is it a question that you want to talk to Mr. Manning about?
It's just about a bond reduction, maybe.
About what?
My bonds are at $500.
Yeah, you need to talk to Mr. Manning about that. He's your attorney and you need to speak with him and through him to the court, okay?
Right.
Do you want, Mr. Manning, do you need me to put you in a breakout room in a moment or?
That's all right, Judge. I'm going to visit with Mr. Zimmerman, following up on some of the witness statements I received. So I'll come and visit him in the next couple of days.
All right, Mr. Manning.
Okay. All right, then we'll be adjourned in that hearing and we'll see you back on the 13th.
Is that everything?
Thank you, Judge. I believe that concludes my business.
Yes, you may be excused. And that's,
Thank you, Judge.
you're welcome. All right, Mr. Gomez. All right, this is cause number CR 15456, State versus Stephen Ray Gomez. I think, Mr. Gomez, the last time you and I spoke, I was hopeful that you would have an attorney hired by now to represent you. Do you have any information, any news for me?
No, Corpus Christi had told me I needed to either get a court appointed or a hired personal attorney. And I told them that I'd be representing myself, and they told me that I needed to either pick a court appointed or a hired attorney. And again, they just said, you can pick one of these. And I said, just give me a court appointed. And I was trying to get in contact with the court and let them know up here in Van Zandt County that I didn't need any kind of attorney, that I'd be representing myself.
So you want to represent yourself in your motion to adjudicate?
Yes, sir.
I believe that you filled out the request for court-appointed attorney, and I think the only reason the court hasn't appointed an attorney to you is because you said that you had $2,500 in the bank and you had no expenses.
No, are you talking about last time? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about when I got arrested in Corpus for what I'm here for right now.
Well, I am talking about what you're here for right now, and that's you were on probation for criminal mischief.
Yes, sir.
And so, but yes, based on this arrest, I need to know if you're going to hire an attorney to represent you on this motion. And you filed some paperwork requesting court-appointed attorney, and you said that you had $2,500 cash. And so that made you ineligible for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And that's why I haven't appointed you a lawyer. Do you still have $2,500 in the bank?
No, sir. Do you know where I signed that paperwork at?
How would I know that?
I'm not sure. I'm just kind of confused right now on,
I'll tell you what, just hold there for just a moment and let me get that paperwork and I'll show you, okay?
Yes, sir.
No.
All right, Mr. Gomez. So what the paperwork that I'm looking at was when you were in Nueces County.
Yes, sir.
It was on February 11th. And it was filled out and it was faxed to my office, to my coordinator. And it said that your total monthly income was $2,500 and your monthly living expenses was $0.
Step up closer to see that.
No, I don't remember saying that they were 0.
So that's what,
Whenever I got transferred to Nueces County probation?
sir, I don't know when it was, where you,
I mean, there's no reason I would say my expenses are 0, but
is this your signature right here?
I don't see a signature, sir.
Your Honor, I think you've got it held a little bit too low. There you go.
No, sir, that is not my signature. I don't believe so. That S doesn't look like mine.
Yeah, it says Stephen Gomez, 1801 Hudson Street in Corpus Christi, has a phone number, says you're self-employed. All that sound right?
No, sir. I told them that I worked at Blue Water Cowboy. It should be on file.
I mean, we're talking about a month ago. We're talking about this was filled out by Stephen Gomez.
No, sir. I did not fill out any paperwork.
Let me ask you this. Is your date of birth in March of '97?
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Gomez, all I can do is tell you this was sent to us by another agency, a district court in Nueces. Anyway, so do you want to complete a new affidavit of indigency to see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney?
No, sir. To my awareness, I thought I was just here for a MTR and to see if I can get my probation reinstated.
Well, give me a second and let's look at what kind of circumstances you have going on. Ms. Heisel, you can chime in anytime you want to if you know the level and.
Yes, Judge, I have it right here.
That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna start pulling it up so I can show Mr. Gomez so he can make an informed decision.
Judge, I show Mr. Woodwike's in it, so I'm going to defer to him.
I was just getting out of it because you said you were going to get in it.
Y'all gotta quit passing the buck around.
Yeah, seriously. We're just trying to be nice. Judge, I show that this is a state jail felony criminal mischief 1,500 to 20,000.
Mr. Gomez, can you see this document?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mr. Gomez, what I'm looking at here is 8 counts in a motion that the state's alleging these various ways that you violated your probation.
Yes, sir.
And your exposure on this case is the court deferred a finding of guilt charge right here, which means that if the court receives evidence in this case and finds that you did violate your community supervision, the court could assess your punishment at up to 2 years in the state jail division of TDC. And if you're not aware, that is an offense that does not carry parole, but day-for-day sentences.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that? Do you still want to represent yourself and act as your own attorney against the state and their attorneys?
Yes, sir.
You don't want to see if you apply or if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney who could help negotiate on your behalf and help you understand the laws and the evidence and the procedure?
No, sir.
All right, give me just one moment. I'll be back in just a second. You can go ahead and have a seat, Gomez. It may be a few minutes.
Mr. Gomez, just have a seat right there. That way you're not far from the.
All right, Mr. Gomez. We're gonna wait for the state attorneys to come back in. All right, we're back on the record, CR 15456, State versus Stephen Ray Gomez. Mr. Gomez, this is what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna reset this hearing on your motion to adjudicate. I'm gonna set it, today's the 11th. I'm gonna set it for about 2.5 weeks on March 30th. We're gonna set you for what we would call a contested hearing. And the court is going to allow you to fill out the paperwork for you to represent yourself between now and then. What that's going to require the court to do is to appoint an attorney to you just to go over the paperwork with you so that you understand the dangers of and risk associated with self-representation. The fact that you're not an attorney, that you don't know the laws, that you don't know the procedure. And I'm assuming these things about you, that you may not know the rules of evidence and the dangers associated with that when you go up against two highly trained individuals who work for the state of Texas. So I'm going to have to appoint an attorney to you just for that purpose. And once they assure me that you are competent and you understand the dangers of self-representation, then the court under that circumstances would permit you to represent yourself in this contested hearing. And then I'll allow the state to put on their evidence and I'll allow you to be your own attorney. And then the court will make a decision on March 30th. Okay?
Before we proceed in that, may I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Last time I had a motion to revoke, or to reinstate my probation. I wasn't given the option to have a court-appointed attorney or anything. I just saw you directly in court. Is there a reason why we can't do that today?
I don't recall. Was it a misdemeanor case?
Yes, sir. I've never had any criminal charges since I've been on probation. They've just all been misdemeanors.
Well, this is well, you understand this is a felony charge, correct? You understand that?
Yes, sir. But like I said, last time I saw you in 2019, whenever you showed me where those other violations came in, I wasn't given the opportunity to have a court-appointed attorney or a hired attorney. Like I said, I just saw you directly in court, and we went from there. I mean, we just, there was no state involved or anything, because it was, like I said, it was an MTR as well, which is what I'm in here for right now.
Were you in sanctions court?
No, sir. No, sir.
Well, Mr. Gomez, I can't imagine a situation where you would appear before me in the district court on charges and you would not be given the opportunity if an accusation or an allegation was brought against you. I can imagine a situation in which you wouldn't be granted the opportunity to either hire your own attorney or to have a court-appointed attorney assigned to you.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go back and look at what you're talking about. And you said,
Judge, I show that there was a previous motion to revoke that was withdrawn. The defendant was continued on probation, extended for 6 months. That happened in June of 2020. I don't show whether Mr. Gomez was represented or not. I would assume he was, but we have no records of that. I just have the extension and the withdrawal of the motion to revoke.
okay. Well, that in and of itself answers another question that you have, Mr. Gomez. And so, State, let me ask you, State, are you withdrawing your motion to adjudicate or revoke today?
No, Judge, we are not.
Are you seeking to go forward with a prosecution on this motion?
Yes, Judge, we are.
And what would be your offer to the defendant at this time?
Judge, we would offer 18 months state jail and balance of financial obligations, which I don't have in front of me, but we will be able to prepare that in anticipation of any hearing.
So Mr. Gomez, what it sounds like to me is that in your previous case, the state withdrew their motion. Basically, they filed a motion to dismiss in your case and allowed you to stay on probation. In this case, the state's not indicated to me that they're wanting to withdraw their motion. You just heard Mr. Woodwhite, state prosecutor, say that he wants to go forward on your case and seek a prison sentence. So at that time, it's going to become incumbent upon me to ensure that you understand your Sixth Amendment right to counsel. And that's why I've asked you if you want to, seek a court-appointed attorney and see if you could get assistance on this.
Right.
So,
And I just want to be made aware, even if he still wants to pursue. The only reason I'm here on an MTR is because I got pulled over in a work truck. And
well, I'm gonna caution you. You don't want to give any information in this setting, because these prosecutors here, anything that you say, they can use against you in court. Okay, so right now, this is the circumstances that you find yourself in. You're currently on probation here in Van Zandt County. The state, and who are represented by the two attorneys that you see on screen today, have filed a motion with this court alleging that you violated that probation. And they're asking this court to conduct a hearing to allow them to put evidence in the record, and asking to use that evidence to persuade the court to revoke your probation and to find you guilty of the criminal mischief and to put you in prison. That's what they're asking to do. Okay, so they're not withdrawing the motion. There's no just we're going to continue or we're going to amend. That's not what's going on right now. So at this point, you find yourself about 2.5 weeks away from a contested hearing where these two attorneys are going to come in and they're going to bring evidence and they're going to make arguments to the court. And right now, the whole purpose of our hearing today is for me to find out, when you stand before me, are you going to stand before me with an attorney, or are you going to stand before me representing yourself?
yes, sir, and I'd like to change my decision, being that we're not going to proceed for today.
Okay, so you would like to fill out the paperwork to see if you are qualified for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
All right, I think that's a wise decision, Mr. Gomez. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep that setting for the contested hearing on the 30th. And I'm going to have you meet with Ms. Tabraham in just a moment. And she's going to help you fill out that paperwork.
Yes, sir.
And then whenever she's done, we'll come back in here and actually, no, whenever she's done, we'll conclude our hearing, and she'll let me know, and if you qualify, we'll point an attorney to you and give you that information. If you don't qualify, we'll let you know that as well.
Yes, sir.
So you can have a seat, stay right there where you're at. And
I have one more question. I don't know if I can say this, but is there a way I can get a bond reduction on mine?
well, let's take one legal issue at a time. Let's first see if you're going to represent yourself or if you're going to have an attorney. If you get an attorney, then that'll be a question for that attorney, and that attorney could seek that on your behalf. Okay.
All right, thank you.
If you, Mr. Gomez, if you don't qualify for an attorney and the court allows you to represent yourself, then I will let you file your own motion for a bond reduction. Okay.
Yes, sir. And can I see that paperwork on the signature that you said that I signed on my income one more time, please?
Sure. I'm going to try to just show you the whole document as maybe I'll hold this. And just tell me when you want me to move it up.
Enlarge the screen. I can't. No, okay.
That's as large as I can make it, sir.
Yes, sir. Can you move up on the paper, please? But she has it in these little the boxes, so it's not
This way or this way?
that way.
Maybe. Okay. And deputy, if you want to, you may just be able to double click my screen, and it should maximize my screen for him.
Yep, let's try it again.
Yeah, if you just double click it, it may lock on my screen, or you may change it to speaker view.
Top right. Sir, I know how to work Zoom. If I can enlarge it for you, Your Honor.
Well, it's not enlarging it for me. It's enlarging it for you on your side of the screen. I know how to work Zoom on my side too.
Okay.
We got it now, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Can you show that?
Now he can look at it. It's big.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is also not my handwriting as well. And if you can, yes, sir, keep moving it the way. That doesn't look like my signature. The bottom possibly, but the top is not my signature.
Okay. Well, it's really irrelevant at this point because we're gonna get some new information from you. So, all right, I'm gonna move you over to another room to meet with Miss Taberham.
Yes, sir.
She's gonna help you fill out that paperwork, all right? So be just.
Do I still need to fill this out?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sign it.
All right, Deputy, Bailiff, I'm going to invite you to another breakout room. All right, State, we're just gonna stand in recess for a few minutes and we'll get his paperwork and then let you know what we're gonna do.
Okay, and
Thank
Judge,
you, Your Honor.
on Miss Odom's case, what was the announcement on that? I missed it.
The announcement was from Mr. Manning on Odom that the state had provided some additional discovery. I think Ms. Curry had provided some additional discovery to Mr. Manning, and then Mr. Manning said he was also still attempting to gather some mitigating evidence or documentation, and we reset that for docket call on April 13th.
April 13th. Okay, thanks, Judge.
You're welcome. I will stand in recess. Ms. Taberham, are you through speaking with Mr. Gomez?
Yes, sir. Aaron didn't know whether we were through or if they needed to come back.
Give me a call on the extension real quick.
Okay.
And for some reason, when you start flipping screens back and forth, sometimes it'll automatically mute you. And so the button's always right there. And even if you don't see it, just come up and kind of stimulate the screen. Because if the screen goes to sleep, those buttons go away. So just move the mouse around and you'll be able to unmute yourself if you are muted. So where were you before you bailiffed and talked to Kate? Before I did? Yeah. Is that your law enforcement?
All my law was that college.
Gotcha.
In 2003, I started the old gym,
Yeah,
the teaching officer.
yeah.
Worked there for 4.5 years. Went to the academy, passed the academy, got the deputy, 16 weeks FTO.
Yeah.
And then went to
Just straight to the courthouse?
straight to the 4th Court Second District Court.
How many district courts did they have?
Two.
Two.
Yeah, 4th Court Second, 86. County Court Law, County Court Law 2.
Gotcha,
There's 4 courts in there.
gotcha. Now, this was my first ever experience with anything like this. And my only exposure to court prior to this was the few and rare times of my.
All right, Mr. Gomez. The court has spoken with its coordinator. I've reviewed your information. Court's going to find that you do meet the requirements for a court-appointed attorney. The court's going to appoint the Honorable Kurt Knoll to represent you. The court coordinator will send out an order to the jail, and on that order will have the phone number and address of Mr. Knoll. He's an attorney in Tyler, Texas. And I'm going to go ahead and change your setting in this case. I'm going to set you for a hearing on your motion to adjudicate on March 25th. March 25th. That's going to give Mr. Knoll a couple of weeks to come out and meet with you and to get inserted into the case and knowledgeable about the case. And he can start speaking with the attorneys. And then we'll meet again on the 25th. If y'all can't work out a resolution, then we'll just set it for a contested hearing, perhaps in April.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So that order will be sent out there to you.
Okay.
Have that information, and we'll also send it to Mr. Knoll. Do you have any questions?
What did you say his name was again?
Kurt Knoll, Noell. And his name and phone number and address will be on that order that's sent out to the jail.
Okay.
You need to give him, some time. We'll send the order over today, but it's going to take him some time to receive that, review it. And then, he's not going to know anything about your case until the prosecutors provide him with the information they have. So it may be a day or two before he can even talk to you about it and have a sense and understanding of what's going on. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
So I'm not setting you much longer. So, we'll see you back in 2 weeks. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Your Honor, is there anything else we can do for you over here at the jail?
Yeah. You have any cookies or cake or anything like that?
We actually do. We have a very, very nice lady who's come by on almost a daily basis, bringing us baskets of fresh baked goods, and they sit right outside my office